right, Thumpers, welcome to a trailer discussion.
Not reaction.
Not reaction.
We've seen it.
We're going to be talking about Black Panther, the teaser trailer. There was already a really, really good reaction done by Zach, by Paris, and by Iffy. If you want to check that out, there's going to be a link to that in the description below, or you can hit the little info icon right here and get a link to that as well. But so many of you guys want to know what our opinion was. I was out of town. I was on vacation. These guys were busy. So we decided we'd get together and we'd at least discuss the trailer because there's so much good shit in here. It looks so good. So, again, not a reaction. Relax.
We've already seen it, but we're going to watch it again.
We're going to talk about it anyway.
And then we're just going to give you our thoughts on it.
Yeah.
Let's
do this.
So let's watch this bad boy.
Tell me something. What do you know about Wakanda?
No arm. Where are we right now, guys?
I don't know.
Good question.
It's a third world country. Textiles, shepherds, cool outfits, all front.
Textiles, shepherds.
Explorers have searched for it.
This is such a great take
Called it El Dorado.
on why hasn't Wakanda been
They looked for
present.
it in South America.
Perfect. Perfect.
But it was in Africa the whole time.
Oh,
I'm the only one who's seen it
love that part.
and made it out alive.
AK to the face.
I see you.
I can see you. The world is changing.
Eric Killmonger breaking out.
There will only be the
Ulysses
conquered
Claw.
Oh, yeah.
Dora Milaje looking
and
stealthy.
conquerors.
Step into the spotlight.
Are a good
So,
man
yeah,
with
dude.
a good heart.
You know what? Oh, there.
It is
Right here.
hard for a good man to be a king.
It's good.
I love that. That's so cool.
The ending part, yeah, because it just like it's like the trailer knows that people's jaws are going to be a little dropped.
Yeah.
And it gives you that little ding,
a little
ding,
drop,
ding, ding, ding,
a
ding,
lot of dropped.
Whew, boy, lot to discuss. Lot to
So
discuss.
this is cool because, like, as someone personally who has not read a lot of Black Panther comic books,
Yeah.
I know that the fictional country of Wakanda is supposed to be in Africa.
Yes.
So when the trailer starts and they start explaining,
Yeah.
oh God, what's his name? This guy.
yeah,
guy,
Everett K.
Martin-
Ross, Martin
whoever-
Freeman.
Martin
Martin
Freeman.
Freeman, whoever
He
he
starts
plays.
talking about
Bilbo.
like the legend,
Yes.
Bilbo, the legend of Wakanda, and how it's been made to believe that it's been in South America. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I didn't know if that was a comic book thing or not.
Well, it's not necessarily a comic book thing, but here's what they did. They made it so that Wakanda is this secluded nation, which is a comic book thing.
Yeah.
They made it so that nobody goes inside the borders of Wakanda and really knows what the inner workings of that country is. It's very, very isolated, for better or worse. That is a comic book thing. But the way that the other guy in that scene, Ulysses Claw, right here, a.k.a. Andy Serkis, describes it. He says that back in the day when explorers were looking for the city of gold, the lost city of gold, they were talking about Wakanda, whether or not they knew it. And they were looking for it in South America in the Amazon jungle, thinking that, that's where we're going to find this hidden city. And it was in Africa the whole time. I think it's a really smart way to pitch this whole concept to audiences that don't know about Wakanda or Black Panther comics or Marvel comics. So
also,
really
when they cut to Wakanda and they show like the council and those like
Yes.
guards and stuff, it reminded me of the first Star Trek. Remember when you first
Yeah.
meet Spock's
Yeah.
Spock's father?
in the Vulcan Science Academy,
it has
absolutely.
that sort of a feeling, like this otherworldly yet familiar sort of a feeling.
Yeah.
The other big thing with these Phase 3 movies, particularly this, Thor Ragnarok and Guardians, they have such a unique look compared to the other movies. Like you look at the color palette and the design and how it's shot and the style, and then you look at that compared to Captain America: Civil War. It feels and looks different. Like
100%.
It feels like they looked at it and they went like, okay, we've kind of assessed what people have been saying about our movies. They look a certain way. Let's try to break that mold a little bit. So they let Taika go really space and a little bit
not
more.
Taika, Coog. Coogler.
Oh no, I'm talking about Thor Ragnarok.
Thor. Sure,
Ragnarok.
sure.
Okay.
Give Thor a little more style, a little more color in this.
Right.
You really see what James Gunn in Guardians 3, just in your face. And then with this, it's the same thing. And I like it because I feel like it's a Marvel allowing themselves to kind of break that boundary that they established in Phase 2.
Right.
Where it was like we kept the colors and the look kind of more muted, for better or for worse.
Yeah,
and
Zach
now
is
they're like,
especially-
let's punch it
I
up a
think
little
that's
bit.
very on
Yeah.
purpose because they had a winning formula.
Yeah.
The formula worked, and I feel like you could take like a character from Age of Ultron and drop him into Avengers 1,
Yeah.
and it'll look exactly the same.
Yeah,
That's
agreed.
fine. Like that was their formula. I really like that they're giving the directors their like do what
Hopefully,
you
yeah.
want. We
Yeah.
trust you.
A little more style.
A little more style, like
Yeah.
if we
Coogler's
you guys
got
can see it on
style.
screen, but we're looking at the shot where he's looking up and all the people are on the rocks and
Yeah.
there's so much color and the dresses. If you listen to Iffy talk about it on the last video,
Yeah.
he was really excited because he was like, "That's my people. That's how they dress. Like
That's
this
Africa.
This is legit. This is
yeah.
Africa."
And even though Wakanda is a fictional nation,
Right.
you know, it still
It comes from a
represents
real
the
continent.
continent of
Yeah.
Africa and a whole different type of people that we don't normally get to see in these types of movies.
Right.
And part of that is absolutely the really bright and vibrant colors of the
people.
traditional costumes and garb and the new sort of modern clothing as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
And in that shot where it looks like T'Challa, Chadwick Boseman, is going to turn into the king, this might be the ceremony because again,
Right,
this
right.
might be a flashback.
Right.
We know that the actor that's playing his father is also going to be in the movie. Now his father died in Captain America: Civil War. In Civil War, when Black Panther was Black Panther, I think we'd assumed like Chadwick Boseman had been Black Panther for a little while.
I
Yeah.
don't think so.
Do you think that the first time he was ever Black Panther was after his dad died?
Because you don't
Okay.
get to become the Black Panther
Until your father
passes
You're
it
right.
on to
That's
you.
from the comic books.
So
but I'm
he's
saying
not.
maybe they might switch it up. Maybe they might switch it
Maybe.
up and have his older father be like, "You are now the Black Panther,"
Yeah.
and try it out
You
for a
have to,
couple
like,
years.
pass
He
it
did
on.
seem very comfortable in that suit.
Yeah.
He did.
Like there was no problem
He
with
did.
him like in the
And
suit.
when he was telling his son, you're getting used to this. I forget exactly what he said in Civil War, but he said something like, you're getting used to this whole thing, diplomacy, all that other stuff. I feel like he was also hinting at you're getting used to being Black Panther. You've
yeah.
been this for a
Right,
couple
right,
years. But who knows? This might be, him becoming the Black Panther in a flashback. It
Yeah.
might be him becoming king,
Yeah.
which we haven't seen that after his father dies.
That's true.
That's definitely something we're going to see in this movie.
For sure.
Forrest Whitaker's character's in this scene, and we
Yeah.
see Forrest Whitaker's character, and a little bit later, and he's like that mentor figure.
I also love that we get like a really good look at the technology of Wakanda because
Totally.
it wasn't something
part
like
of it.
I couldn't picture it. I didn't really know how to picture it because I don't know it from the comic books.
Yes.
But you see the buildings and you see the transports and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, this definitely is an advanced nation.
I also think you feel that way because we haven't really seen the city and
We haven't- yeah.
in comic books they talk about it but they don't expand on it like until Ta-Nehisi Coates' version
Yeah.
of Black Panther they actually go into it.
Yeah.
Sure.
And they kind of detail it a little
Very
bit
cool
more.
tech, yeah.
But this looks like it's on a whole nother level.
Yeah.
And it's also something that, like, in Marvel Comics, Black Panther hasn't always been at the forefront. There hasn't always been a Black Panther comic series on the racks next to a Captain America or an Iron
Sure.
Man. And not only that, but we don't normally see this type of, I guess, set design
Yeah.
with
Exactly.
with a continent like Africa. Do you know what I mean? When I
Yeah,
pitch to you
totally.
Atlantis in an Aquaman movie, you could be like, okay, I get it. I
I've
get
seen-
it.
I've
I
seen a
could
little
pitch
bit.
to you Themyscira. I could pitch
Right.
to you Asgard even. And those are all hard sells.
I went to Asgard on vacation. Yeah.
You went to Asgard on vacation, but it's a tough sell to go futuristic city, but also traditional African
African,
culture
yeah.
in the
Totally.
same. Because you're like,
Never seen
because we
that.
don't normally see that type of thing.
Right. If we see
in
any parts
movies.
of Africa, it's usually South Africa.
Yes, it's
Yep.
South
You
You don't
Africa.
see,
Yep.
or it's
Or
like
just like
ancient
Village with mud
Egypt or
huts.
something.
Exactly,
Right,
and that's the
right.
thing. Again, if he was saying, he's like, there's cities, it's civilized.
Yeah.
that,
It's
know,
better
it's-
than
it's-
where we're living right now.
Yeah, there's a lot to it, and so but that's another part of the really cool thing about the Wakandan lore is that nobody knows how advanced it is. It's supposed to be the
How
most
it
advanced
works, yeah.
country on Earth. The technology's there, and that all comes from the vibranium that's
That they've-
in their
yeah.
mountain. That apparently eons ago, the meteor that has all the vibranium supply on Earth landed in the heart of Wakanda. Therefore, boom, country is set. Here we got the shot where Black Panther was fighting off these guys. This might
Yeah.
be people trying to enter the country, and this
Probably.
is why there's a reason why they never make it out alive, except for Claw, who made it out alive,
Right.
lost his hand. We see Danae Guerrera, who is from The Walking Dead. Obviously, everybody knows her as Michonne on The Walking
Yeah.
Dead. She's one of the Dora Milaje, which is great. She
Which
might be the head of
looks
it.
So cool.
So cool. And they got incredible. I mean, the cast is amazing. We get to see them sprinkled throughout, and some of them are like, blink it and you'll miss some of these actors.
Yeah.
I mean, look at that city.
Yeah, that's technologically advanced on a level that I was like, oh, that's Wakanda.
And it's still, there's organic shapes.
Yeah.
Right.
They're sort of rounded, like hut-inspired shapes. It feels like, again, that's part of the Ta-Nehisi Coates book. Brian Stelfreeze's art is like, it tries to do that mishmash of like, keeping their culture intact. You see like looks like ancient sort of buildings almost protected by glass.
Yeah.
As if they're like live walk-in museums next to modern skyscrapers.
Right. But even look at those skyscrapers. It looks like they give the appearance that they're using straw for the roofs, but they're not. You know, it's probably some super... technological thing, but they still keep very traditional to it.
Right, we got Forrest Whitaker.
What
in
I
want
to talk about is this guy, Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah.
Eric Killmonger. There's something about Michael B. Jordan with his 2 little side dreads.
Looks good.
The
Swagger.
little scowl he has on his face.
Super Saiyan suit.
A little bit of stank face. Michael B. Jordan is. I mean, and I'm so glad. You know, like Christopher Nolan has Michael Caine. There are certain directors that always pair up with certain actors. You know, you got Scorsese and DiCaprio,
Kugler. Creed
and Michael B. Jordan is.
It's the
so
best.
good.
It's the
So
best.
good.
Hopefully, an
They're
actor
going to be
that
working on a show.
Kugler and Michael B.
Jordan and Ta-Nehisi Coates is going to write it.
Oh, I love it.
No
I love it.
shit.
Yep.
Well, listen.
Wow.
Chadwick Boseman is friends with Ta-Nehisi. You know, they're in communication, and I'm sure that Ta-Nehisi has something in some way to contribute to this movie.
Absolutely.
Here's another one of my favorite actors, Lupita Nyong'o. Is in this, you guys.
Nyong'o.
Again, another part of the
Dora
supporting
Milaje.
cast, the Dora Milaje with and there's Danae
come
Guerrera
on,
again.
get outta here.
Kicking ass.
I think that's what's so cool
In like
about
a
the
casino
world,
or something.
about
Yeah.
this world, because he has this supporting cast of characters. You can
Yes.
surround him. You know, Chadwick Boseman is a guy who's doesn't necessarily have a vast filmography.
Correct,
He's like
yeah.
but he is like a Christian Bale, where he's done enough movies, but you surround him with all these talented people. It really makes for a well-rounded
And
cast.
in that shot where he has his arms out, it's like, again, is he being welcomed or not so welcomed to other parts of this country?
He looks like he's got a defiant scowl
a little bit,
on his face.
kind of come
Yeah.
at me, bro.
Yeah.
Look
Yeah.
a little bit.
Like, I'm right here, bro.
I love that shot where now first of all, I'm so glad that Claw's in this movie.
Totally.
I know when they first were announcing stuff, Andy Serkis coming back as Ulysses Claw wasn't a known thing. I know they set him up in Avengers: Age of Ultron, but to me, Claw is one of the, if not the arch enemies of Black Panther. Generally speaking, he's a guy who's a real piece of shit. He's a racist, obviously. He thinks
a
that.
Nazi?
I don't
Wasn't
think
he
so.
a
I
Nazi?
think he's just a racist, but he may have worked with Nazis.
Yeah,
There's plenty
something
of
like
Nazis
that.
in the Marvel
Something like
universe,
that.
guys. That Captain America fights them all the time.
Yeah.
Turns out, but he's got his arm cut off, and I don't know if we're gonna get him to have that robotic sort of sonic appendage thing that will make him claw, and maybe he'll be a being made of sound. I don't know if they're gonna go that far with it, but. He seems like he's a terrorist. He seems like he's getting mixed up with Eric Killmonger. And he seems like he's trying to get into Wakanda to get this vibranium. Eric Killmonger being the main villain, I think, is great. I think it's much more compelling because on the surface, Claw is just kind of like a bad guy.
Right.
He's just like a bad guy that
No
Black
emotional,
Panther...
like personal stakes.
Right, that Black Panther keeps kind of
Like
fighting
a
off.
low-level bad guy.
Ulysses
that keeps
Claw
coming
in
back.
versions of the comics, I think, when he was in a younger man, fought Black Panther's father, T'Chaka,
Yep.
when he was Black Panther. So there's a little bit of history, but it's not really like... And then Eric Killmonger's a character who grew up and he was like kicked out of the country, him and his family, for political reasons. So he grew up in other parts of the world hating Wakanda. So he has this really interesting storyline that I don't know how much of it in the comics they're going to lean into. There's obviously a lot that the character's been through, and he's not super well known. So like they could mess with it, and people aren't going to be like, "Hey, the Mandarin's not like." It's there's not too many Eric Killmonger fans. Just like I don't think there's really a lot of Mandarin fans, but I get it. Whatever, comic books fans are,
Plus,
they're fickle.
I think this shot,
Ooh.
this actor next to him,
Bro,
is
Daniel Kaluuya from Get Out.
Out,
That's
okay.
the guy who's
I
not
knew
an
I wasn't
American. He's
crazy.
another one that's got a great
Yeah.
American accent. And Augustine, you haven't seen Get Out yet. You will.
bro.
I know, Hector, let me
But-
borrow it.
I
I'm waiting
love
for
it. He's got
Cynthia
it.
to
I let him
work up the
borrow it.
courage.
So
I let him
good.
borrow it,
So good,
but
so
he's
good.
awesome,
Yeah.
and to see him in this supporting role with Eric Killmonger, maybe teaming up, is so cool. Love the Super Saiyan armor.
We get a shot of Manape.
We're gonna get that Manape, which M'Baku. We'll
Yeah.
see him in a little bit. But again, I wanted to point to this. Look at this guy when the guy has the green suit.
Yeah.
And the traditional
With the disc in
African
his lip.
disc in his lip, which is like people were looking at this, and I don't know. The reaction has been interesting because there's some people that are not aware, and it's totally valid, of the sort of comic book origin of Wakanda and Black Panther. And they see this and they go, great, this is the one black superhero movie, and we get images like this. I understand where they're coming from, but I also think that this is an amazing... He's got this modern suit. The colors of it pop, and he has this tribal artifact, very traditional, very tribal. And this character is probably one of the members of the sort of ruling council that's in Wakanda. It's in Black Panther. I know that people, when they're fans of comic books and they talk about representation, there are arguments that are like, I just want a character that happens to be whatever they happen to be, and not have it be all about, this is an African superhero, or this is a gay superhero, or this is a Latino superhero, this is a female superhero, and everything is about them being an other and them being kind of different. And I get that, but I think that with Marvel Comics especially, they've got a lot of different characters. Some of my favorite characters that happen to be black and are American, Luke Cage. Right. I love Luke Cage. I love Blade. I love Storm. I love what those characters represent. But what I also love about Black Panther so much is that he is African. He's not a black guy from the United States. He's African, and they lean into his culture so much, and in such a positive way that I see something like this and I'm like, I'm stoked about it.
Black Panther just doesn't carry the title of Black Panther. He carries the whole weight of the nation with him.
The world.
His nation rests on his shoulders. So as much as people are complaining about that, you have to understand that this guy represents every single person in the nation.
I just think too that the complaint might be from a place of, I hope that movie executives aren't kind of making this up as they go along. And again, if you're not familiar with comic books and Black Panther comics, I get how people can think that, but rest assured, this thing is being well thought out. You know what I'm saying? They're pulling from Black Panther imagery in comic books, and they know what they're doing.
If you're going to make a movie about this sort of a character, you're not going to Americanize him and make him part of American culture. You're going to bring that African culture with him. You'd be doing a disservice to the character if you didn't do that.
It feels international. Again, even though it's a fictional country, it still feels like a real international attempt. So here we have Angela Bassett playing T'Challa's stepmother, and she is all-time.
I have the blanket she's wearing. I picked it up in South Africa.
Do you really?
It's in my car.
No way.
You better hold my poodle and go get that damn thing.
Oh my God.
That's crazy.
Do you really have that exact blanket?
I have that exact blanket in my car.
That's crazy. I think we might make you go get that. That's amazing.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right. Augustine's going to go get that. In the meantime...
This is cool, though, because you see Martin Freeman in the background.
You see Martin Freeman. Now I want to talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
That's not Lupita Nyong'o. That's another actress. She's playing Shuri. That's Black Panther's sister.
Oh, yeah.
Sister, who at one point in the comic books is Black Panther herself, who they're building up to be a character as smart as Tony Stark. She's a genius. Super cool. But Martin Freeman being there, playing Everett K. Ross, one of my favorite runs of Black Panther is a run from Christopher Priest, and he created the character of Everett K. Ross. No relation to General Ross from Hulk, who was also Thunderbolt Ross. But Everett K. Ross, he originally invented as a character that was like a guy who was a United States, Washington, whatever, who gets assigned to become T'Challa's like ambassador / delegate / babysitter while Black Panther's in the United States taking care of business, and he just gets wrapped up in these adventures, and he's supposed to be a character like Chandler Bing from Friends. He based him on Chandler. He created him after he watched the episode where he was trapped in a ATM vestibule with Jill Goodacre, and she hands him a piece of, it's like, would you like gum? And he says, gum would be perfection. As soon as Christopher Priest saw that episode, he went, what an insane character. And he's like, I want that character with Black Panther, who's the coolest guy in the world.
Holy shit! It's the same one.
Holy shitballs! If it's not the same one, dude, that is an incredibly.
She has a different design on her.
But bro, if we're talking yellow, look at that yellow stripe down the middle.
No. I went to South Africa.
Wow.
And I went to South Africa and I picked this up.
Damn, that's so
at
cool.
a tour guide place.
What is that, velvet?
It's wool. It's 100% wool.
Wow, it's really nice, you guys.
It's from the.
Damn, that is
from the people of Lesotho, I think.
So smooth.
Very cool. Very cool.
Which is a tiny country inside of South Africa.
Wow.
Dang, that's
crazy.
They're all wearing those blankets.
That's really cool. So
Cynthia has another one.
We were just saying that character on the left is Shuri. That's Black Panther's sister, who at one point she becomes Black Panther when T'Challa goes away. And in the middle, we've got Everett K. Ross, and he's just getting wrapped up in these adventures.
He's Chandler
which
Bing in
I think is going to be really, it could lead to a lot of really great, funny, humorous moments. I'm going off of this Christopher Priest run of Black Panther comics, which you guys should check out. It's so good. and then Eric Killmonger doing his thing.
Looking badass. The Dora
And
Milaje.
to see the Dora Milaje, there's Shuri again, the sister.
That technology is
crazy.
crazy.
Which with this Coogler, I forget who they're saying, like she's gonna be as smart as Tony Stark. Like she's up there in this genius level, with really cool like hair, costuming, makeup, all that stuff looks rad.
Well, I think that's what's. This is a
There
really
you
amazing
go.
shot
That's
too.
a
Like
good shot.
this is what I'm talking about. Like
Yeah.
if you look at the style of this and
Yeah.
like, then put this side by
Clouds.
side to like an airport scene in Civil War. It's gonna look like two completely different things,
Yeah,
and
totally.
that I think is what's so important.
We're looking
about
at the
these
shot
movies.
of a character named M'Baku, who in the comic books his name is Man-Ape. He's probably not going to go by Man-Ape in the
Probably
film.
not.
He normally wears like a big white sort of albino gorilla,
Suit.
like not
So
suit, but like he killed a gorilla and he wears this thing.
So
Yeah.
his
Skin.
tribe is pretty much trying to always take over
Exactly.
Wakanda.
So he's probably going to get wrapped up with Eric Killmonger
Exactly.
and Claw. And,
exactly.
yeah.
And he is so the way that Black Panther is created is that the king passes it down. They have the same tradition with the white gorilla suit
Yes.
thing. So whoever's
The
the king
man-ape,
gets
yeah.
to take the
Yeah,
man-ape
yeah,
mantle.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Overall,
there's so much
super
in there.
dope trailer.
So much in there.
Janky CG at the end though.
Yeah.
Thumbs down on that, but
Yeah,
There's still time.
There's
still time.
Yeah.
I mean, considering most of this trailer is there's no huge CG sequences,
Right.
other than the plane and stuff, which like
Everything else looks pretty solid.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I'm super
sure that
excited. I can't
further
wait.
trailers, we're gonna see more like the big action sequences. You know what I mean? We're gonna
Yeah.
see more of that
Yeah.
stuff. But
Yeah.
it's insanely
Very excited. Very
for
excited.
this
Get
movie,
hyped up
man.
for that Black Panther movie.
Look at that.
I
It's
can't
so
believe you
close.
got that thing. That's so cool.
There's different prints that symbolize different things, but
Guys, make sure you guys subscribe right here, youtube.com/hyperrpg. Check out all the videos that we're doing, all the other trailer reactions. Make sure you do check out the trailer reaction that Zach, Iffy, and Paris did. It's really, really, really good.
And read some Black Panther comics.
some
The Ta-Nehisi
Black
Coates run.
Yeah.
3 volumes of it are now out in trade paperback, and they're amazing. I think all 3 of them are out.
Yeah.
And as far as I would go with that Christopher Priest run as well from the early 2000s, I want to say late 90s, early 2000s. Check that shit out. It's the best.
and go to
And you'll
South
be
Africa.
Go to South Africa.
Yeah, man. If you can swing it, go visit South
Yeah.
Africa. That'd be dope.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Bye.
Bye.